Dear students, in the previous session we have studied about the structure of human ear in detail. Today we are studying about the physiology of hearing or the mechanism by which we hear sound. The process of hearing begins with the occurrence of sound. The occurrence of sound can be playing a musical instrument or chirping of birds or breaking of something like wine glass or conversation between people and so on. We are able to hear all these sounds. All these sounds cause vibrations in air or variations in air pressure, and these variations in air pressure form sound waves that are gathered by our ear. These vibrations stimulate the ear and sound is heard. Let us see how this happens. In the human ear, sound waves are transmitted through four different media along the auditory system. In the external ear, the sound waves are transmitted through air. In the middle ear, there are ear ossicles. So, sound waves are transmitted through a mechanical or solid medium in the middle ear. In the inner ear, it is filled with fluid, and when the vibrations reach the inner ear, they are transmitted through a liquid medium. The inner ear converts the vibrations into neural signals, and these neural signals are then carried to the brain by the auditory nerve. We are going to see these steps in detail. You know that the external ear is formed of the pinna and the external auditory canal. The pinna gathers the sound waves and acts like a funnel, directing the sound waves towards the external auditory canal. The external auditory canal directs the sound waves to the tympanum of middle ear. In the external ear, sound waves are transmitted through air. When the sound waves hit the tympanum, it vibrates. You can see the ear ossicles in the middle ear arranged one after the other, forming a chain. The first ear ossicle is the malleus. It is connected to the tympanum. The vibrations of the tympanum are transferred to the malleus. Here, the vibrations are entering into a solid medium from air. The malleus transfers the vibrations to the next ear ossicle, that is incus. Incus transfers the vibrations to the third ear ossicle, stapes. You notice the size of tympanum and the footplate of stapes. Tympanum is larger in size and the footplate of stapes is much smaller. Here you can see the vibrations from a larger area of tympanum are directed towards a small sized footplate of stapes, so that the vibrations get concentrated and amplified several times. This is very important for stapes because it is the stapes that is transferring the vibrations to the inner ear. Now you can see the process very clearly. The inner ear is filled with non-compressible fluid and the vibrations are now transferred to the fluid medium. It is the stapes that transfers the vibrations to the inner ear. The footplate of stapes is resting on the oval window and the vibrations are causing the bulging of the oval window into the fluid-filled cochlea of inner ear, and vibrations are transmitted. The cochlea of inner ear is having three parallel canals. Of these three canals, the cochlear canal is having the organ of Corti with the sensory hair cells. We have studied about organ of Corti in the previous class. The movement of fluid in the cochlea causes the movement of basement membrane on which the sensory cells lie. Here you can see the sensory hair cells of organ of Corti resting on the basement membrane. When the basement membrane moves due to vibrations, the sensory hair cells rub against the overlying tectorial membrane. When the cilia of sensory hair cells touch the tectorial membrane, ion channels of the sensory hair cells open, causing a rapid influx of potassium ions. So these sensory hair cells get depolarized and an action potential is generated. Thus, the sound vibrations are converted to neural signals. Each sensory hair cell is innervated by a nerve fiber. These neural signals or nerve impulses are then carried by the auditory nerve fibers to the auditory center of brain through 8th cranial nerve for auditory perception. Today we have seen the physiological mechanism of hearing. See you in the next class. Thank you.